recap. There is so much to talk about today, including some updates with our girl Claire. But before we get into it, you guys, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Yes, we are back here again. I'm Renee Ariel, and I'm joined by the wonderful and lovely Fiona Zaring.
Hello.
Okay, Fiona, let's just get into the nitty-gritty because Claire talked about something recently that I think is one of the most relatable things that's been talked about on Bachelor Nation, and that is internet creeping. Can you talk about what she said?
Oh my gosh, yes. So as if I wasn't already obsessed with Claire, she just popped by the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast and was asked if she's been Googling her contestants. Her response was basically, duh, yes, of course I am. I'm a person. I'm going to Google the men that I'm going to be dating. But it was interesting. She said, quote, I will say this, at first, I really didn't. I really did not. And it was because, I don't know, just kind of felt like I want to get to know them. And regardless, I know how my Instagram is. It's a piece of my life. You have to see and feel in person. So regardless of what their life is and what it looks like on Instagram. So basically, she really tried to hold off because she is a super real person and knows that like Instagram presence isn't everything. And I know you and I have talked about this, Renee, but guys' Instagram presence particularly are typically not everything. Not a lot of guys really keep up with their social in the same way that girls do. So I totally get that thought process. She also explained that a real deal breaker for her is scent. She said pheromones are really important. So forget someone's social media. She's got to like the smell. And if she doesn't, then it's game over. She said, if they smell like the right smell, that's everything to me. And then she continued to sort of talk about the what's the word? The Instagram stalking, and said, I will say I have looked a little bit. My friends have looked more than I have, to be honest. They're like, did you see this? Did you see that? But there are some things where you can kind of tell people's lifestyles from their Instagram stories. And I see some that are not really my vibe, and others where I look at them and I'm like, oh, that's hot. I can't wait to meet this guy. So based on this sleuthing and stalking she has done, some of these contestants she already is pretty sure are not going to work out, which of course was inevitable no matter what. But yeah, what are your thoughts on her going in with this knowledge that maybe that guy's not going to work out?
I like it. I think it adds a super fun twist. I think with The Bachelor, what's always been interesting is it's been completely not blind dating, just blind casting to see then who you're going to end up dating. You know, you're being set up by the casting directors on the show. Whereas now, even though, yes, the casting directors obviously selected the group of men based on probably her, likes and desires in a significant other, I think it's really cool that she's also already kind of able to start vetting them, because I do think as much as you can learn very little from social media in certain aspects, there's others where you learn a lot about someone's personality depending, I mean, gosh, back in the days where there was the activity page and you could like really see what they're liking. Woo, those were the days. So I think that's totally fair. And I cannot wait to see how it plays out in this season. As for what she said about pheromones and how like scents is a really big deal for her, I'm on the complete same page. For me, I need to be attracted to someone's scent in order for me to be attracted to them. I think smell, I mean, this goes past just hygiene. Obviously, yes, the guy needs good hygiene, but I once dated a guy that like, he would be fresh out of the shower and there just wasn't a compatibility with our pheromones, at least right on my end, because sometimes you just don't like someone's natural smell. And that doesn't mean BO. It doesn't mean that they have bad hygiene. It just simply means their natural scent is not compatible with you. I think she's onto something.
Yeah, no, yeah. She is. I mean, you're so right. And someone that you're going to be spending your life with, if there's a smell issue there, that's a really hard thing to overcome. I thought it was really cool. She also did throw out there that like, she obviously hopes the guys are researching her as well. She has 2 dogs that she loves. They're all over her Instagram. And she's like, listen, if you're not a dog person, like, look at my page. I have animals. Like, if this is, not going to work, then call the producers. Let them know. I mean, she really honestly on both ends, they're provided a really great opportunity, because if your gut isn't in it, I feel like when you get onto the show environment one way or another, you're probably going to, if you're a contestant, even if you're not feeling it deep down, you're going to keep putting your best foot forward just in case, because you're on the show, you're here, you've committed to it. And hopefully this will give them an opportunity on both ends to weed that out. So I'm all for it as well.
Yeah, and I love it. Just shows how ready Clare is to like meet someone and meet the right guy. She's clearly in it for the right reasons, because she's already like, I don't care if you're hot, if you're 6'5", if you're this, if you're that, if you don't like dogs or there's an issue there, like just leave, just walk away now while you can. Another thing that Clare also opened up about on the podcast, which is something we did not know about prior, was that she was in an abusive relationship before she went on Juan Pablo season back in 2014. She did not open up about this on the show, and she said this on the podcast: I didn't even share it with my friends. Some of my family knew about it. I had just gone through a really, really abusive relationship going into Juan Pablo's season. She described that point in her life was like super low. She said at one point she was living in her car for like 3 months. She had a job barely making minimum wage as a hairstylist assistant, and she was in a super abusive relationship. She had just lost her dad. There was a lot going on in Clare's life at that time that were just a lot of lows. However, this is apparently what ultimately led to that iconic moment that you all know, where she told Juan Pablo off. I got to break down this quote for you guys because she kind of explains what happened in that moment. She said, "It just broke me down. I hear it in my voice the whole time of just trying to be strong and trying to be empowered. But then at the very end, having enough in me to be like, you know what? No, that's not okay. You don't treat somebody like that. You don't disrespect somebody like that. I hadn't fully convinced myself of that yet. And so it took me time right after that to sit and process that and go, what just happened? What do I need to work on? Why did that shake me?" Which I think that's super interesting because, I mean, obviously it always depends what's going on in our life and how our mental health is when it comes to reacting to all kinds of situations, let alone a very high stress environment like The Bachelor, when you also have a bachelor that's, I mean, infamously kind of a D-bag. So having to face that head on when she's already confronting so much and dealing with so much that she didn't fully heal from until after the fact, it's a lot. But I love that she opened up about that, because I know a lot of people can relate to being in super, super low points like that, and maybe finding out that having that turning point, whatever it is. As for what Clare is looking for in her next relationship, she also opened up about what she is looking for in the man of her dreams, saying, I want the man of my dreams to see the worst of me and to know the worst of me. There was a lot that I went through. I want them to know the hard, ugly, embarrassing struggles of my life, to appreciate the woman that I am today. She said that she wants a man to love her for that, and not just for the easy makeup, hair, that kind of stuff, because, and this is very true, anybody can love you for the fun, easy times, the smiles, the laughs, but she wants somebody to love her for all the hard stuff she's been through, which I love that. And I think that that is such a good quote. Also, like, side note, because you guys know I'm a Swiftie, it reminds me of Taylor has the song Lover that you guys know. And in the bridge, she says that they love her for all the, guitar string scars on her hand, because she wants, and she has a lover that loves her for all of the hard stuff as well as, you know, the bad stuff and the good. You got to take both. So ultimately, she just says that she looks at everything she's overcome now as a superpower, because they made her who she is today. Ultimately, just proving she's ready to find the one.
I absolutely love her outlook, and I love how vulnerable she's being going into this process. I think the really cool thing about the woman Clare is today and the place she is going into this season is she is confident enough in herself to go, like, love it or leave it. Like, I am not changing who I am. Like, I know who I am. I'm not discovering myself anymore. I have discovered myself. I'm not going through the lowest point of my life and looking for someone to, like help lift me out of it. I did that. I found that strength in myself. So now I'm here, I'm ready, and I hope that the guy I can find on the show will be the one. I think sort of an underlying message to everything she's saying is like, she won't be settling. So if the guys on her show don't show up, like Clare is not going to settle. She's not going to mess around. And I think that's going to be, as we've said many times before, so, so refreshing. We can talk about Clare all day because she is fabulous and we are just so excited. But let's talk about something totally off the subject and how fans are shipping Demi Burnett and Nick Viall again, like crazy. Demi and her boyfriend Slater called it quits on June 20th, which was about 4 months after taking their relationship public. They're done. They've done the unfollowing. Demi's deleted all of their pics from her feed. So naturally, I guess, Nick and Demi are an item again in a lot of fans' eyes. They've been friends for a while. Fans have loved to ship them, and Nick just shared a new photo of the two of them on his Instagram. Ben Higgins, though, is super responsible for reigniting this ship flame because he literally commented, "Ship it." So if Ben's shipping it, how are all the other shippers out there not supposed to hop back on board? Nick and Demi were last linked seriously, like there was an ignite of this ship back in 2019 when Demi, I guess, was seen at his apartment. But at that time, Nick shut the relationship rumors down on his podcast. He explained that she's a close friend, a dear friend, that he cares very much about her. And then I love this. This is so classic Nick. Demi has in fact been to my place, as sometimes friends do go to each other's places. So let's say there is nothing going on. I'm sure we would get a lovely snarky quote that says something along the lines of, "Friends sometimes post photos on Instagram together." But it is interesting because last we heard Nick does seem to be dating someone. On his podcast, he said, "I recently had a conversation with someone that I'm dating." And the question was, what if we're not compatible about this thing? I was like, we're not compatible about that thing, but I don't know what that means about everything else. The quote itself doesn't really matter in this context. The important thing there is, I recently had a conversation with someone that I am dating. So I guess for the shippers out there, if you want to believe in it and you want it to be real, who knows? It's possible. The Instagram was certainly cute. What do you think, Renee? Are they buddies or is there a reason to be shipping this?
I don't know because the breakup was announced super recently, you guys. It's June 24th. Like it's only June 24th is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know. I mean, obviously, perhaps they broke up sooner and we just didn't know, and maybe more time has passed. But I mean, this all happened very, very quickly. I think people just love to ship them because they love Demi, they love Nick, they see them together, and they're, I mean, both very good looking. So obviously, you see two good looking people, you're like, oh my God, are you both single? Date. So I get why people think they would look good together and because they're friends. But as for whether I believe they are dating, I don't know. Every time with Nick, we always like Kelly. Remember when we thought he was dating Kelly, and there was more proof with Kelly, and we were like, oh my God, maybe. And then he's like, no. And then she was with Peter. So I don't think that they're together. I think that there's potential there. Who knows? I mean, if they have a strong enough connection, we could see. But speaking of people shipping Bachelor Nation couples, so you guys, Maddie Prewett and Colton Underwood, a lot of fans are shipping these two together. Let's get into why. Obviously, they're both religious, but a lot of fans think that Maddie's has actually had her eye on Colton for a while now, because I guess back in March 2019, supposedly, so this would be a year before she went on The Bachelor, Maddie, I guess, tagged him in an Instagram post that led to speculation she was interested in him. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's cool. They both share faith. We know that that's a really big deal to Maddie. We know that's a big deal to Colton. So it's very possible that they would be compatible. As for whether or not they're ever going to really meet and hang out and have that all happen. I don't know. But Maddie did share a video on Instagram about Faith Social, which is an online Christian community for people from all different faith backgrounds, which she said has given her a lot of encouragement and hope. And Colton commented on that saying, amen. Also, 2 days later, Colton shared his own faith-based post where he shared a photo of himself drinking coffee at sunrise and wrote in part that glorifying and enjoying God is a higher priority than maintaining a tidy, structured life. And Maddie commented saying, so good. And of course, she did reveal recently that faith is the number one thing she's looking for in a guy, which we know Colton has. So I completely understand why people are shipping these two together. This is kind of a duo I would love to see play out in Paradise. Obviously, we're not going to get Paradise for a while now, but that would be really fun to watch that play out, because we don't even know what would happen if they met. Like, honestly, seeing them comment, I'm sure they've talked, but I want to see the dynamic really play out, because Peter and Colton are very different people. So seeing how she's compatible, obviously they have the faith background and that's so important to them and a big part of their each of their lives. But you gotta have like the flirt and the compatibility elsewhere. So I would love to see it play out. I think I'd be here for this duo.
I totally agree. I think there's just something about Maddie that fans are very eager to ship her with like some good guys within Bachelor Nation. I feel like since the season ended, we've had multiple Maddie like ship rumors sort of come out of Instagram comments or rumored DMs or little messages here or there. And I think that Maddie is going to find an amazing guy, whether it's in Bachelor Nation or not. Obviously, as we saw play out on Peter's season, as on her social media, faith is super, super important to her. And I think that it is a very easy, connection of the dots to see how Colton and her could do really well together. But Colton's going through a massive breakup right now. There is a pandemic quarantine situation. So I think it may be a little early to do anything other than sort of ship them and hope that maybe when the world turns around and everything's back to normal and there is Bachelor in Paradise, something could come of it. But for now, I'm going to say it's just a fan ship, We're going to go ahead and jump over to the chat. We want to know what you guys are thinking about Claire, about Maddie, all of our faves from Bachelor Nation. So if you have any questions, make sure to send those in. Oh, look, we have one. So, sorry, let me move my screen. Hi all, I'm glad Claire is doing some legwork. ABC has been lousy with their own vetting lately. That's from Christian Walters. It's a pretty good point, Christian Walters.
Yeah.
I think Claire can vet better than ABC, maybe.
Let's see. Oh, Lisa R says Claire is going to be an awesome bachelorette. I completely agree with you. I think she's already, we're just waiting in anticipation at this point.
Newall wrote, poor Claire, the announcement of Matt James as The Bachelor has taken the wind out of her season. I think that people gave the Matt James moment a very deserved spotlight, and there was a lot of excitement, especially coming from the fact that it sort of was like a historic moment. But the wind's going to go right back to Claire the minute her season starts to air. I have no worries for her.
Let's see. Kenzie says, Claire seems like the Snoopy type. Maybe that's why she's single. Okay, listen, I think it's smart to be Snoopy. I got no problem with the Snoopy type. And I think she's just being smart at this point. Like, listen, dating's hard. Dating's hard, especially in a big city. And I will say, I think it's better to be safe than sorry. Vet them out. See if already there's going to be conflicting views, or if they post. If you're for instance, if you're super, super against hunting, like cannot date someone that hunts. It's just a big thing that will bug you. You can't do it. And then you find out like 2 months after really starting to like someone that he loves hunting every single day of his life. That's going to be a problem probably down the road. So I think it's fine to creep and get to know the guys that you might spend your life with.
I totally agree. Deidre, I hope I said that right, thinks Maddie and Colton would be cute together. And Christian Walter says, just keep Maddie away from Luke P. Could
Yeah.
not agree more, honestly, with both of those statements. No Luke P for Maddie, and who knows with Colton.
I know. Yeah, we'll definitely see, you guys. Again, I want to see it play out in Paradise. Like, I get that, who was it? Victoria and Chris Soules that are dating behind the scenes. I wanted to see that play out on my TV screens. It's just not the same. So I'm hoping that maybe Colton and Maddie will like officially meet and start something so that we can watch and, you know, be Bachelor Nation fans all together. Let's see. I can see Demi moving on quickly from a relationship. I mean, who knows? The thing is, we don't know Demi as much as we know her from, you know, her personality on The Bachelor. We don't know how she is in relationships and how she is with breakups. But 4 days is very quick. That's why I'm more hesitant. Let's see. Benny says, Claire said she has been told, wait, hold on. Claire said she has been told a date, for it to air, but she did not disclose it in the podcast.
Yeah, so she just said that they'd be filming very soon. And I believe she said like literally 2 hours before they recorded the podcast, she got some news as to like when she'd be leaving, when it would all be starting, but they haven't shared that with us yet. But we also know they've started to tease. I mean, they put on their own Twitter, new episodes coming soon. Like, it's as fingers crossed, the ball's rolling, and actually we're going to get something soon, that nothing else interrupts it, because I am so ready for Clare.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see also how they're going to do it with all that's going on in the world right now with the pandemic. I am very, very excited because I know it's going to be completely different than The Bachelor that we've seen before. So I'm excited for all kinds of reasons. But you guys, thank you so much for all of your questions and comments. We love hearing from you guys. And of course, thank you for tuning in and watching us live, because it's always fun to chat. If you'd like to watch more of us here on Shared News, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any live updates. If you guys want to check me out on socials, you can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, pretty much all the socials. And Fiona, where can they follow you?
All those same places at Fiona Zaring.
All right, you guys, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.